Hello everyone, in this video I'll be giving you an updated guide for the Ancient Mega Pack plus Randomized Equipment Loot mod made by Paramonov here, as there's been a few updates since my last video on it. I want to show you guys how to do the crafting and everything related to this massive update that was added. Now, what all got added was now there's over 2,000 items. When I last covered it, there were 700 items, and there's a plan to add upwards of 10,000 items to the game, which is crazy, but amazing because all these items seem to be balanced pretty well within it. Now, I'm going to first encourage you to read through the Ancient Mega Pack tome, which comes in the tutorial chest when you download this mod, because it's going to have a table of contents. This will break everything down, but I'll be covering that all in this video. It just gives you a good baseline of how to utilize this mod best and just some best practices while using this mod. I also want to bring a notice here that it is a community project, so if you have some item ideas or if you're working on something, feel free to join their Discord, because they do have a community there that they're trying to grow and help out with the long-term development of this mod for Baldur's Gate 3. And yes, this is a community project, but there is some level of balance that they try to maintain. Most notably, you can see some items like the Nair Mister, which is normally a blue rarity item, is now a legendary weapon, as it should be. And you'll see some other changes, like the Hellrider Longbow, previously a green uncommon, now a very rare. So there are some changes to the items in the game. Things like the Cold Snap, which is regularly a blue rarity, is now a legendary. And that's not all. There's some changes to the enemy's AI and how they react to darkness, which typically when you have darkness up, the enemy treats it as though this is an area that they can't do anything with. Now enemies will actually try to go in and melee attack you while you're in your darkness, which does make things a lot, I think, more balanced. Now, the crafting is a component I get asked about a lot, because there was a change to it recently. So I'll break all of that down here. So we will have these two locations out in camp, but when you first interact with them, a little menu will pop up that kind of describes what they do. You can also interact with this, it'll laugh, but the salvager here, as the name implies, is going to be what we put our items into to get those astral gems, and then we can use the arcanizer here, but you do require one specific item in order to be able to utilize this, which is actually kind of hard unless you're doing quests. It's only available from quests, unless you also download another mod. I just want to give a little shout out to this mod by Paramonov as well, the Trials of Tav Resonance Matrix, because this is what you need to do the crafting. I get a lot of questions about this. You get it from quests. Otherwise, with this mod, it lets it so when you break down items, you do have a chance of getting a one of these here, depending on what type of item it was, with legendaries giving a 25% chance. So you need to put a Resonance Matrix into here first, and then it's going to activate. It'll be a little pop-up. And then what you can do is you can then take these Astrum Imperiums here, and you're going to put it into here. And then you get a little loot box. You get a little decent reward here. So whatever you do, you're going to open it up and you get a random item. So this one here, get 10 temporary health points upon killing a foe. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's how that works. And then I guess if you want to turn, let's say we didn't like that item, we just go in here, put it into here. It'll turn it into a blue gem. This works for all of our items. So if we decide we don't want Nair Mister, we can throw it in there. Oh, we got ourselves a Resonance Matrix. Perfect. And an Astrum Immortalis, which is the best rarity here. So then what we can do is go ahead and load our Resonance Matrix into there to give it more charges. So that gives 10 charges per Resonance Matrix that you put in there. And perfectly enough, the legendary rarity will consume 10 energy points from that. So it uses it all up. If you have a purple rarity, very rare, it uses 5 resonance points. The blue ones do 2 and the green ones do 1. So we'll use that all up. We'll just throw a legendary one in there. And then this gives us our best item. It also depleted the charges there. And we got ourselves the Clothes of the Superior Assassin. +3 to 36 attack rolls and damage against surprise creatures. And +4 armor class. That's pretty crazy. I really like this. As mentioned, using Trials of Tav kind of works really well. Because then you can get some pretty good loot from this. Another thing is you can batch throw your items into here. So if you just want to get a bunch of these all at once, you can throw them all in. I do notice that if you're using the mod that gives you more Resonance Matrix, it has a lower success chance of giving you though if you throw them all in at once. And it also can do items like the Amulet of the Ball, so obviously anything quest related. So you can get into a flow of just turning your recycled goods into something better here. Again, with that mod that I mentioned, you do get different Resonance Matrix depending on what the amount of gear you're throwing in here, but that in a nutshell is it. Throw your Resonance Matrix into here, gives it the charges, and then throw your items in, collect the loot, and see what you get from your boxes there. This one. There we go, there we go. Joy Lad's Disguise, +2 to spell save DC when in 1.5 meters from a foe. So yeah, take the item out of the box because it will disappear. And furthermore, if you go to any merchant, they will be carrying a lot of these different items. And some of them are pretty crazy. I've seen some absurd weapons. Oh wow, that's actually crazy. Buying from Roland the Shark Spear of the Evening, which used to be a legendary weapon. Now it's put down to just very rare. And I guess this is because blindness immunity is not as good because darkness isn't so overpowered in this. So that actually kind of does make sense. Funny to see that roll there. But yeah, you can find both the in-game loot as well as loot from different, I guess from this mod, and also it can work with Fade's equipment distribution. Although if you got control over your mod load order, you want to have this one below Fade's. In the yeah, it's Armor Sport Keeper. So on the mod page itself, you can see the compatibility and what to worry about. So Fade's equipment distribution issue, it forcibly replaces loot lists, just like AMP. There are compatibility patches from Graphic Fade. When playing with this mod, you may notice lack of randomizations in many places. If you have the control over the mod order to see the 100% randomization, it'd be best to enable AMP after Fade's equipment distribution. Please note, if you notice the Gloves of Power on the first Goblin, there's a 99% chance you'll encounter a bunch of loot already in the middle of the game and break your balance. So just a heads up, because this mod is quite balanced. And I guess the mods to use alongside it, I always recommend the D20 die initiative, because the D4 initiative in this game is kind of rough. And then they have a mod that fixes alert, making it more valuable with the D20 initiative. +1 action points to enemies, levitate once per turn in combat, strength elixirs rebalance, move faster. Although one weird interaction I do notice with move faster, after downloading the Resonance Matrix mod, for some reason, my character, when using WASD, won't move faster. You can see there I'm moving slow, even though the animation is sometimes looking like I'm moving fast. But if I click to move around, it speeds it back up to the move faster speed. So just a heads up on that. So just to go over some of the things here, so you get those different random rewards from, you also get the Resonance Matrix from completing quests, and it's like a roguelike, so sometimes you're going to have to make some tough choices and adapt to what you get. Certain bosses will drop a bunch of loot, so on Diethel, Nair, Malum Thorm, they also drop the Astrum Crystals to make your own items with this. And also, you're not going to get something crazy like a legendary sword from the beach in Act 1, so it is very well balanced within this. There's also going to be chests in each of the camps here that have only will open on a nat 20, so that's roughly going to be 20 lock picks. They will contain the crystals and some gems, and there's also a secret one in Act 1. There's also, I guess, the randomized equipment loot REL section. Wizard of the Coast may add this is an official game mode to Baldur's Gate 3. I think that'd be awesome. Paramonov's also working on becoming, or they kind of are working on the game development, so definitely go give them a good word and let them know how you enjoy this mod here, as it's for their portfolio as well. They also apply this depending on, they do Google Forms to get player feedback on how they can make this mod better, and they always encourage you to leave feedback on this mod, because it's all about the community. They say to even go on Mod.io and comment on their page about what you found and what you suggest fixing. This will be helpful on your part and make you feel so much better for the rest of the day. And again, as mentioned earlier, if you have any ideas for items, you can send them to them. They'll try to keep it balanced, and this is all about improving the community here. So you can send some support for them in their translator here, and it's available on their mod page there. Another last thing I want to mention is that it changes the game's economy a bit, so items are reduced in their overall cost. And random adamantine forge molds will give you randomized loot there. These molds will yield some of the most powerful artifacts within AMP. You shouldn't get them with 100% certainty. And again, I mentioned the darkness changes there and some equipment changes as well. So all in all, this is an amazing mod. A lot of fun, great replayability, and much more to come. I think this is going to be the crafting mechanic moving forward. So I just wanted to do a video on this, as I know a lot of people are curious. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and check out this mod. It's a really great one. Have yourself a great day.